Hey, Web2 Curious listeners. Today's episode was recorded live at the Hack Seasons in Bangkok, Thailand. We dive deep into the world of blockchain, Web3, and the latest trends shaping the industry. Our first guest, Vadim, co-founder and CEO of Crypto Mira and mPost, shares insights on the evolution of Hack Seasons and the importance of offline community building in the digital age. Next, we hear from Greg, professor of computer science and founder of PiSquared. He explains how PiSquared is revolutionizing blockchain development by allowing developers to use any programming language to write smart contracts, making it easier for Web2 developers to transition into Web3. We also chat with Yoann, who's from Wintermute, a leading market maker in the crypto space. He shares his journey from traditional finance to crypto, the importance of market making, and how Wintermute is helping projects gain liquidity and visibility in the market. Finally, Mikko from Veridise? Okay. Finally, Mikko from Veridise discusses the critical role of blockchain security. He highlights their unique auditing process and the launch of AuditHub, a platform that enhances transparency and efficiency in security audits. All of this and more at the Edge of NFT. Cue the intro.
Welcome to the Edge of NFT, the podcast that brings you the top 1% of Web3 today and what will stand the test of time. We explore the nuts and bolts of the business side and also the human element of how Web3 is changing the way we interact with the things we love. This podcast is for the dreamers, disruptors, and doers who are pumped about this ecosystem and driving where it goes next.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Edge of NFT. This is live in Bangkok at Hack Season. This is our third time joining these guys as a media partner, and I'm here with the co-founder and CEO of Crypto Mira and mPost, Vadim. It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So full disclosure, Crypto Mira is also an investor in Edge of company, and we actually haven't done content together for, I think, that reason, trying to create a little bit of a sort of firewall there, but I really wanted to get your perspective on what's happening here in Bangkok, and you guys are doing a lot of different stuff. So what brought you guys to Asia first?
Right. Thank you so much for having me today on your podcast.
It's an honor.
Interview.
First time in like 3 years.
Yeah. We should have done it earlier, but maybe we can do it more and more later. So what brought us here? First of all, Hack Seasons, the conference that we're having this interview today. It's a series of of the conferences that we're doing in our media group of companies, and we've done already fees this year.
Okay.
First in Dubai, then Brussels, then Seoul, Korea. The Singapore was the fourth one, and this one is the fifth.
All right, so I've been to four, so I missed Brussels.
Yeah, you mean the Brussels. Hack Seasons as the brands is evolving, is getting more and more popular. So we put a lot of energy to build this conference as the brands, to bring very high-level, top-notch speakers, to create a good agenda. And actually, our main goal is to become the best conference in a one-day niche conferences, because I think it's very good to bring a lot of people together to create a community, because all of us were living online. We have all those messengers and these and that. But actually, to meet offline, nothing can be compared, right? So to meet, to shake hands, to talk like privately about something is always, create a lot of value. And what's happening? We are a group of companies, right? So maybe I can give break
it down, because obviously we've done a lot of work with mPost, which is editorial news. Like we feature some of your stories on occasion. Had you guys on the show, but there's more to your portfolio of media than just mPost, right?
Right. Yeah, so basically, we have two directions. One is investment direction, as a Crypto Mira. So we're an investment firm and we invest to early stage projects. This year, I would say we mostly focus on secondary market. That's why it's kind of like a boring, nothing to speak about, because we just created very good baskets of projects that we pick up from the secondary market, and we mostly just let it be, because it's like a long only strategy. Wait for the bull markets to come, for the price to go up, and then we'll find the best way to exit, right? So that's easy kind of strategy. But we put more our time and energy to the second vertical of our business, which is Media Group, which has four companies, four units. One of these is a Hack Seasons. The second one is the mPost. It's exactly the news media you just mentioned. Third one, we have a Popcorn today, which is Telegram news media channel with more than 5 million subscribers.
And that's like 5 million in like record time. When did you do that start?
We started just recently. It was like less than 2 months ago.
Yeah,
less than 2 months ago.
I'm blown away, and just to sort of verify for the skeptic, these are real folks, not bots that have like decided to join this news channel. So a lot going on in Telegram, it demonstrates. But what's the magic sauce? How do you get 5 million users in less than 2 months?
I mean, first of all, to get a huge traffic in Telegram, you need to create a good platform for people to join, right? So first of all, we do a very good and interesting content. That's something that we've been trying for several months before we started, right? So, and how I used to call it, like we combine three major part of this, like a mixture. First is a very good journalism, very good content. Second is a good and high quality sense of humor. And the third one, which is really like, I think, the secret kind of, the most important part of this secret sauce is a drop of autism on top of it. So that's exactly what people like in our industry. That's why it's very viral and people are sending to each other.
We call that edutainment.
Yeah. But at the same time, we do a lot of learn content. We because in Telegram, I'm more than 8 years in this space. And I know all the majority ecosystems, and we're talking with different platforms. So we're always trying to find where is all the traffic, where is the consolidation of the users right now. And actually, for me, supporting Tone and Telegram was quite early. I mean, like we started like 2-3 years ago, but it was like very slow kind of like curve. And then since last year, and especially like middle of this year, we see the boom of like growing of Telegram mini apps, and a lot of people are doing like some kind of like raffles, giveaways in Telegram, creating the communities. So we do believe that Telegram has a huge potential. So when we start our media there, we not only of course like doing a good content, but of course we've been cooperating with different Telegram mini apps who've been promoting us, some QLs, so that's why the traffic comes so quickly. And
then there's a fourth division as well.
And the fourth, it's Vibe, is our products, which we are building right now. It's on a very early stage, but I like to do something. That's why I was talking about the Telegram, and we want to create a mini app in the Telegram. It's actually already like working, so as a beta you can try it. It has a very interesting mechanics of like swipe, the same like a Tinder like mechanics. But what do you actually swipe? You swipe the news and the memes. So by swiping, you also do bets, because it's very important in the Web3 world to incentivize your user with airdrops, with the small incentives, with the potential to make some money, even though it could be some small money compared to like whatever, something else. But in the end of the day, I mean, when we read in the news, when we consuming the content, user don't get anything. But I think in the Web3 world, the whole narrative will change. So we are trying with this hypothesis. We're on a quite early stage. I cannot say that we're like already like a super advanced product right now. But I do believe for the next several months we will try to find the market fits. And as soon as we feel that this is a strong fundamental demands from the user about the product, we will start to bring more traffic, more attention, more users to make it monetizable. Yeah,
I love it. It's very much lean startup philosophy, which is sort of what we live by. We've had Trevor Owen, who's CEO of Pizza Ninjas and Ninja Alerts, and he used to actually teach lean. So I appreciate that approach to building business and just being humble and curious, right, about where the energy comes and goes. I know we have you have a conference to run. Just as we sort of finish things out, I'm really curious. So we look ahead. What's the biggest opportunity for the industry this year, and then what's the challenge that keeps you up at night?
Right. Very good question. First of all, so my first bull run was the ICO boom. And the last bull run was about NFTs, about gaming, about DeFi. And these previous two bull runs was so different with the current one, because now we see the main narrative of memes, actually. So meme coins and Telegram, I think that's probably, that's what we look at.
Okay.
And what we're trying to understand from one side, and from the second side, of course, we do believe in a lot of fundamentals. So from the investment side, as I mentioned in the beginning, we mostly invest to the infrastructure, different layers, solutions, consumer applications. So that's definitely that we look at. And what's the biggest opportunity on the market? I think that's going to be the super cycle. So that's my personal belief. Of course, no financial advice or something like that.
You think it's coming?
But I feel it. I feel the power. It's a lot of institutional money in. It's a lot of retail in. And that's what I've been talking many years, that all the technology should be under the hood. It should not be like, for like, average users, very complicated to use the blockchain, to remember all these like seed phrases, etc., many things which are really complex. So as long as technology under the hood, very good user experience, a lot of institutional money, then we have these Telegram and we have Kakao and Line. These kind of like social applications which provide user to directly connect and link to this decentralized application. That's definitely, I think the opportunity of once in a life. So I definitely recommend everyone to build, to try to do something during this bull market to make as more money as possible, to try different hypotheses, and definitely, that's a very important time to work, to deliver, to, build, to do something. And definitely a good opportunity here. Yeah.
All right, some hot takes from you, Vadim, and again, great to have you on the show. It's been a great partnership. Look forward to working with you more in the future. We'll see you over in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia next year, I hope, and joining you on this world tour for the next hack season.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Richard from Edge of NFT here. We are live at the Hack Seasons in Bangkok, Thailand. I have this incredible guest next to me. We have Greg with PiSquared. And Greg, the first thing I want to start off is with your background, because you have such a cool background. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm actually a professor of computer science at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, which is close to Chicago. I also live in Chicago. And I founded PiSquared this year to solve a major problems that I find in the blockchain space, which is that of correctness and security, and also at the same time universality. And previously, I founded another company called Runtime Verification, which is a major security auditor in the blockchain space. And not only, we learned how things should be done in order to be done right. And with PiSquared, we want to do exactly that, to do things right.
So with doing things right, and like you identified some of these challenges, how is PiSquared going about solving those challenges?
By putting together three orthogonal innovations. First, we want to bring all programming languages to the Web3 space. No longer Web3 developers have to learn only Solidity or Rust. They can write programs in Python, in C, in Java, even PHP, God forbid. They can use any programming language they want to write Web3 contracts. So that's one. Second is what counts as a proof, because we need to verify. That's the beauty of blockchain. Everything is verifiable. But what counts as a proof of something that verifiers have to verify? So we also offer universality with respect to proofs. Proofs can be mathematical proofs, can be cryptographic proofs, can be even re-execution of programs on many platforms, and then achieving consensus. So everything can be a proof, and we support that notion of a proof. And three, the third component is a universal consensus protocol that allows us to do what I call, to avoid what we call the tyranny of sequentialities. You see? Because when we use blockchains, we have to obey this total ordering of transactions, which is great because it solves many problems like double spending, for example. But there are yet many, many applications that do not need all this very strict total ordering. For example, a voting application. Right? In a voting application, it doesn't matter if I voted before you or you voted before me. We just have to vote before the deadline together. So, yes, so three components again. Universality with respect to programming languages, universality with respect to what counts as a proof that something was correct, and universality with respect to consensus, where we allow arbitrary universal consensus that nodes have to achieve consensus only on values, but not on a total order.
You're making things a lot easier for people to come into the space, right? So you're trying to bridge that gap with Web 2 to Web 3 and bring it in such a way that people can come in and immediately have impact. So for people who are listening to this, is PiSquared specifically like towards these devs that want to come build? Is it more towards, let's say I've already built a protocol and now I want to like become more interoperable with another? Like, who is that profile that PiSquared helps?
So first of all, everything we do now in blockchain will be done better. But in addition to that, it will bring a new wave of programmers, right? How many programmers, how many developers we have in the blockchain space now? There are like 8,000 to 9,000 Solidity developers. So less than 10,000 people are writing Solidity code. And maybe we double that if we include Rust and what other blockchains use. Maybe we get up to 30,000 programmers in total. But now I'm exaggerating. I don't think there are 30,000 Web3 developers currently. But we have 30 million developers in the Web 2 world, in Java, C, C++. So all those now can deploy their applications on Web 3. For example, you want to prove your mother that you are really good at Angry Birds, right? And you can prove that you got the score 650. And now you can take that proof and show it to your friends, to your mother, to anybody. And yeah, I have that score. And that's verifiable, it's provable, you cannot cheat. It will bring all the universe of developers of the Web 2 world and applications to Web 3. And you may wonder who wants to come to Web 3 and why. So whenever you want to prove something permanently, and that may be required soon by clients to become more and more sophisticated, will be incentivized then to use that trick, right? For example, you store your data in Google Cloud. If Google Cloud wants to change your data, they can. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? So we put an end to that.
Got it. That's awesome. So you're really opening the door to these tens of millions of people that can come into the space and be able to immediately deploy and create these applications on top of blockchain. So for people who are listening to this, and it sounds like, yes, this is me. I've been waiting for this moment. I've been watching crypto for a while. I've been on the sidelines, but I'm ready now. I'm ready to jump in. How can people learn more about PiSquared?
They can go to pi2.network, pi2.network, and go from there. We have lots of blog posts, documentation, papers. Being academics, we also have lots of scientific papers. You may want to skip those first. Yeah, so, and play with our prototype. Actually, right now we are going to have a workshop demo. We demo our what we call the ULM, Universal Language Machine, which think of it like a blockchain in which you can plug and play your programming language. We are going to demonstrate right now how you can plug a new language and write smart contracts in that language, and now how you can have a smart contract that uses 4 different programming languages at the same time. Same like in real life, in Web 2, that's what we do, right? Programs in multiple languages. We'll demonstrate it right now. So watch this video, because it will be on YouTube, and try to reproduce the results as a first step, and then contact us.
Awesome. And one final question is just, we're here at Hack Seasons. Why did you decide to come and be a part of this experience?
The Hack Seasons, because hackers are the first, the first front line in trying everything new and cool. So this is the perfect place to show the first demo. This is our first demo of our technology. So there is no better place than this.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, thank you so much for being part of the show, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here.
Thank you so much.
A quick word from our sponsors who's ready to navigate the cutting edge of tomorrow's legal landscape. Because at Zuber Lawler, they're not just attorneys, they're visionaries. With expertise in emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, and the metaverse, they're paving the way for you to seize the future. For mergers and acquisitions to IP, their selective team delivers strategic solutions tailored to the ever-changing world of technology. Join us at Zuber Lawler, where the future meets the law at zuberlawler.com. Back to the episode.
Hey everyone, Richard Carthon here from the Edge of NFT, and we're live here at Hack Seasons in Bangkok, Thailand. And I have another incredible guest. We have Yoann with Wintermute. He actually just came off the stage from a really awesome panel talking about the future of VCs and what investments will look like. Pleasure to have you here. For some people, somehow, some way, this might be their first time learning a little bit more about you. So can you just give us a little bit of background on yourself, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit more about Wintermute.
Okay, so myself, I'm 41. I've been a trader, and this is my fourth venture. So I've been a entrepreneur for 14 years as such. spent time on the trading side and more like nutritional finance side, but also been a VC and essentially a venture studio builder outside. And did a bit of cross-border M&A between essentially China at the time and in Europe. I love learning languages. So I like to just do this as a first time essentially. It turned out to be always a nice addition to trading and financial world and so on. To the point that I've moved to, it was a few Asian languages in there, and I'm basically to the point that I moved to Singapore a year and a half ago. Yeah, just like building, I like to interacting with people, and I spend time basically on the family office space and the hedge fund space, and more the banking and more 20 years ago, so not that much time. But I always found like the crypto space to much more like open and energizing and so on. And then people on the some people just geeky in a very good way, not barking this fairly, and I find this quite a good way to live a life.
Yeah, your background is very interesting, especially I got to hear some of the various languages that you know, just hearing you speak to a couple of different people. But one of the things you brought up on stage I thought was really cool is that you learned about the space all the way back in like 2012. You could have got involved, decided not to. But then with what you're doing with TradFi, eventually decided, hey, I'm going to really go and dive into Web3 and get into this. And so you eventually decide to create Wintermute. So for those who don't know about Wintermute, tell us a little bit about that.
So Wintermute is essentially a market maker, basically. So we consider ourselves a tech company first. So it's like the example I use and abuse of is essentially Google. So Google, you don't think of them as an advertising firm, you think of them as a tech company. And basically it's the same, because what we are doing, and we want to be perceived that, is essentially we're a tech company that happens to make money from traders. So we build middleware to be very active in DeFi. We actually do some block building ourselves through subsidiary. We've done some still building for incubation and stuff, but essentially what we do on the trading side is even our traders are not really full traders. They're essentially quant dev traders. That's my quant, to put it up. And it's very much like these sort of people are helping us to scale in a very smart way. Probably explains why we have so few BDs. So actually they can put me in the BD side, I don't know, or the diplomat side of the business, I don't know. But it's essentially we've got a much smaller firm and staff count wise than like the GSR or Galaxy and so on. Yeah, but we've got a bigger scope in the way that we used to be the largest crypto market maker in the spot crypto. We quite big in derivatives and so on. So we trade 7, 20 or up to $23 billion a day. I haven't checked the recent numbers, but actually we may have had bigger days recently. Yeah. But essentially the market share is like up to like 10-15% of the whole market. It's spot crypto. Essentially, if you ever traded on especially centralized exchanges on DeFi, you probably traded against us. Right. So on this need to wrap up. Sorry, we do some venture side. We do some venture investments as well. So we've made 120 investments over the last 4 years. We applied about $200 million. And then we do some incubation, quite sporadic, quite more focused, but essentially if we're incubation on those essentially things that we wouldn't build if we were not building Wintermute. And then we just find like the CEOs or we just people find people who actually already doing it, and we just help them bootstrap and finance them to a degree, and just help them with all the different dimensions of the company. So it could be if I started a business the house, but it could be like inside of those as well. So I'm not trying to add the centralized again.
It's awesome, man. So between the market making and some of the venture capital that you put out, obviously the bread and butter has been on the market making. So for those who are listening, obviously when they're getting ready to deploy, one of the first things they need are market makers. So why would someone decide to come work with, and obviously the largest, but like why would someone come work with Wintermute as opposed to some of the other competitors that are out there?
So my view is that too few people understand market making. So I've spent a lot of time with incubators explaining what market making is. But essentially market making is just being there to provide liquidity and be there so that when you want to sell your paper at $3 or whatnot, then there's no one necessarily there on the other side. But you have the market maker on the other side to make sure that there's fluidity in the flow. So you don't have to go through the room and just try to somehow find someone who wants to buy from you. So we're always there on in the book, in the order book, essentially, to make sure that there's fluidity. To what it means to add liquidity to token to book. What do people look for? Integrity, the highest integrity possible. So, delivering what you can do, like good practices. So it's actually it's the only main things that we took on TradFi. So Yoann and I used to trade on traditional finance. And then you don't have to reject everything. It's really good to just, when we create we are very much there to create a new financial system. Well, we're new economy are much more than this, to be honest. But I would say that it doesn't mean that you should reject everything. So no market manipulation, no fake volumes and so on, just making sure that it's transparency. market making is essentially the whole point is to help price discoveries, to help figure out what the true price of a token is. Why people would come to us specifically, I think it's not a silver bullet, but essentially my sentiment is very much that it's just people leverage our reputation essentially. So it's third-party validation. So when you go and apply for an exchange listing and people see our name, it's much more likely to be listed. And there's the confidence that an exchange will know that we'll actually be in the order book and we'll obviously we commit to, which is just being present, essentially being present in the order book. We're still on capital, so we just, we need to raise some money to cover at least the capital cost, and it forces us to basically put as tight as possible to be involved and to at least make the capital cost fine. Second thing is that we have access to like a few retail brokers. I can't say name, but it's called Emerald Advisors or Neobank or so on. And essentially that's quite a unique access. So some of them, you can check my Twitter, some of them are essentially we do like 50-60% of the crypto volumes. And it just gives us, again, not silver bullet. It doesn't mean that we're going to list you tomorrow, but it's a good way to actually sell the database. Like depending on what you're building, some people have very, very specific understanding of like what value you can bring. Sometimes it's a bit of vertical, and they just see us from like what I call on-chain marketing. You just see that we do 30-40% of Ethereum on-chain volumes, and then 10-30% of Solana volumes, on-chain volumes, and we're on 10 chains, 28 protocols, and essentially it's more the alignment between founders, between like the philosophy of the firm. So like, okay, we're there to build DeFi, there is to build DeFi, and there's no smaller fish to first to go along there. So the high integrity versus fast, because you can trust people, and they're not going to run away, or they're not going to put you in trouble, unwillingly, unbeknownst to yourself. So I think I can get those days. And the one downside we have is we sometimes victims of our size, so we tend to say no to like smaller projects and such. But I would say like if you have to choose someone else, just really vet for integrity. How can you vet for that? Yeah, there's a few models out there that essentially want to be like the cop of market making, and I don't necessarily think that re-intermediation as opposed to using intermediation, I don't think it's a good thing. So I think every foundation that wants to take market making seriously, because you can hire like there's thousands of people who work at exchanges, and then many of them actually understand market making. Go and find a good person that works at an exchange that understands market making to just interact with market making firms that are owning that process. So they're a lot better than going through a firm that may run like a beauty context, but they're not really with the right KPIs. Yeah.
That's a lot of alpha, and definitely appreciate you sharing that wisdom, because a lot of people, no matter where they are in their process, this is essential. Market making is an important part of it, and you want to make sure you have the right partners that have integrity and that are going to do right by you, and also be able to give you the feedback you need to understand how to work with you in your project, because it's different from project to project. So definitely appreciate all that insight. For people who are also listening to this, you could have went to a lot of different places while out here at DevCon, but you're here at Hack Seasons. Why did you decide to come be a part of this event?
I mean, it's kind of a good mix of a lot of people, and there's a lot of teams building here. There's some of that we can fund, like a few ecosystem that we either invested in or we just found that plus to which. So I thought it would just be good, and we stayed at a panel with basically a bunch of friends. Yeah. One of them is my neighbor, literally. So it's an easy conversation. So yeah, that's the peer event. It's probably, as you can see, that we're just struggling a bit to speak about the noise, but it's good. It's just really put the noise in for.
Definitely. Well, we're glad you're here. I know I got a lot of really good insights from y'all's conversation, and even through this conversation. For those who are listening and they want to learn more about Wintermute, how can they go do that?
So the website, they can reach out, but then I would say don't hesitate to reach out on Twitter. From Yoann, Turp, and one as a member. And my DMs are open all the time, so I try to filter. It's sometimes very noisy, and then just often I need to redirect it to a team member. But it's they just don't hesitate to ask questions to it, and we answer pretty honestly.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. Well, Yoann, definitely appreciate your time, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. You can invite me.
Hey everybody, Richard Carthon here. We are live at Hack Seasons in Bangkok, Thailand. I have an incredible guest. We have Mikko with Veridise. Great to have you on the show.
Yeah, Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. So let's first just dive into how did you get into Web3? And then we can kind of dive into what Veridise is.
How did I get into Web3? Well, I guess I read the Bitcoin white paper in 2013, so that was the first touch point. There was many years in between. I was working in other industries and then being last 3 years in the Web3 space.
Amazing. And so you get into the Web3 space and you hear about Veridise. So what was that like, and what is Veridise, and what are y'all doing at your company?
Sure. So Veridise is a blockchain security company. We do blockchain security audits for smart contracts, blockchain implementation themselves, and zero-knowledge circuits. And then we develop our in-house vulnerability detection tools as well, which we use in our audits. So yeah, blockchain security, making the space more secure.
Very important. As we know, there's been a lot of security exploits and other scams that have been going out there. How do you go about approaching your potential clients in providing these services to them to make sure that they stay secure?
Yeah, so essentially the clients usually come to us right before they go to mainnet. So when they freeze their code and they've scoped the area which they would like to really harden the security. And yeah, based on the size of their code base, we make a quote, start the auditing process, which can last for from 1 week to 2 months typically. And then our auditors will have a look at the code. Our team comes from really strong academic background, so we have a lot of people from this specific niche of computer science called formal methods. PhDs in program analysis. So essentially they go through the code line by line and then use our tools such as static analyzers, buzzing tools, and then our ZK tools to make sure we weed out the bugs. That's essentially how that process works.
It's important, especially that target demographic of people getting ready to have their TG and get all these things going. The worst thing that can happen to them is having some sort of security exploit happen. And it's very important that they have a reduction row for that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of competition out there. Why would someone come work with Veridise compared to some of your competitors?
For sure. Yeah, there's a wide variety of auditors nowadays. I would say 3 things. I mentioned about our strong team coming from the academia. We've been doing blockchain security research much before than Veridise was founded. Our in-house tools are quite exceptional, especially in the zero-knowledge domain. I would say we are the leader in ZK audits. We've got a lot of audits in that space. We're auditing Risk Zero, Succinct, SP1, Linea, Mina. Then one of the latest things that we've actually just released a couple of weeks ago is AuditHub. So far we've used all these tools in-house. So essentially 1/3 of our team, they're not doing audits. They are creating these tools for our auditors to use. But we've combined them all into a platform called AuditHub. So when the clients come for us for an audit, usually the challenge in the space is that, it can take many weeks for the audit to complete and get the final report. But with AuditHub, you can see real time when our auditors find the bugs, and you can start mitigating them already throughout the audit. So it can save a lot of critical time when your team is willing to go live as soon as possible, right? And on top of that, you can actually rerun our detection tools in an online platform. So you can fix the code, we rerun the tools, and kind of like get extra guarantees that the code is safe, and then also collaborate in high context environment with our auditors. So that's something I believe, as far as I know, we're the only security company offering that.
That's incredible. It's a great tool, and like you said, it helps save time, it gives confidence, and when you have something that can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, and people are ready to go right now, it's important to not rush that process. But if you can do things to be proactive, so how do you move that process along, the better. So that sounds like a very helpful tool to do that. So like we said earlier at the top of this, we're in Bangkok, Thailand, and we're at hack seasons. Why did Veridise decide to be part of this event?
Well, we are deeply involved with different applications and blockchains building on Ethereum. DevCon is obviously the place where the entire industry, especially Ethereum industry, but also other industries come together. So yeah, it feels like we've captured this city for a week, and yeah, you run into good old friends. So yeah, that's why we're here. That's why we are in hack seasons. And yeah, this is the place to meet new people and old friends.
Agreed. It's been a great experience so far. I'm glad we ran into you, got to learn more about you. For those who are listening, how can they learn more about Veridise?
Yeah, Veridise can be found on veridise.com website or Veridise Inc. on Twitter, and you can take it from there.
Okay. Well, appreciate your time, and thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Richard. Pleasure.
The views and opinions expressed on Edge of NFT reflect solely those views and opinions of the show hosts and its guests. Please make sure to do your own research. Our show is not financial advice. You understand that you are using any and all information available on or through this podcast at your own risk. Whenever making financial decisions, we recommend doing your own research and talking to your accountant for financial advice. From time to time, we may feature sponsored content on the show for which we receive value, and we may share links for which we receive a commission if you make a purchase through one of those links. Refer to our website, www.edgeofnft.com, for our full disclaimer, terms and conditions, and privacy policy.